and I give an answer. I give an answer from the experience, from the knowledge, from the things I've learned. Sometimes we even visit the Bible. So Namanya has asked, Professor, I have a fear in me. I was born in scarcity. I was born in scarcity to give birth to us. I want to tell you, friends, that all of us have a certain form of fear. When we were being created, they put fear in us. The role of fear, the specific role of fear, is to allow us survive on earth. Now, that fear is called rational fear. So rational fear was put in us to allow us survive. There is a hormone they put in us called cortisol. That hormone called cortisol, when the eyes see danger and the eyes communicate danger to the brain interprets danger and gives you two answers: either stand and fight or take off with flight. So the flight and fight. So you will see that by design we were created to survive. But survival comes from us appreciating fear. That is what we call rational fear. So we were given fear such that we do not see a lion and just stand there. We do not see fire and just stand there. We do not hear bullets and bombs going off and we just stand there. We were given fear to run and escape, to be able to survive. That is rational fear. Now, the rest of the fear that is not responsible for survival is called irrational fear. Irrational fear. When you are full of anxiety, you wake up and you just start fearing things all over. Now, this is how I have helped some of the people to face their fears. Number one is to appreciate something called the power to control. Every time you are feeling any fear, ask yourself, can I control the situation? Let me give you an example. I cannot sit here and start fearing. I cannot sit here and start fearing what will happen if they attack Uganda, because I cannot control any other country which can attack Uganda. It's like that power to control any invasion of Uganda, I do not have it. I cannot stand here and start fearing death, just fearing death, because I actually do not know the day I will die. So I cannot be alive and then get a thought that death is going to come to me and I fear the death. It's because I do not know when I will die. So me having a whole day to fear death, a whole week, a whole month, it means I have now started thinking irrationally to fear the things I cannot control. Now, Afra is saying that I was born in scarcity. That is 98% of the world. 98% of the world is born in scarcity. We all just find ways out of scarcity. Now, I want you to know that there are people who are born in scarcity, but they are also born in trouble. That person is born as a refugee, So he will grow up in a camp. He does not have any nationality that can help. His country can't help him, and he's in a camp that is surrounded by war. You get the idea? So there are people, for you, when you say you were born in scarcity, you are by far, even in that scarcity, better than numerous people who have been born already in scarcity. There are people who have been born in scarcity and in a war zone, such that they will have to be in scarcity but also survive bombs and guns and bullets and all that. So what do we usually do? We start moving despite the scarcity. You start moving. You break the generational curse. Are we together? If you were born in scarcity, now it's you to bring the abundance. What you do, you wake up, you get a skill. You skill yourself and you look for opportunities from your skill. And it's not that you must only look for opportunities after studies. When I come here and I talk to people about money, I do not have a degree per se in money. All my other degrees are in other things. A degree in statistics, a degree in IT, a master's in information security, a degree in law. In all those degrees, have you heard about financial literacy? No. But I'm skilled as a speaker. It's my natural inborn talent. So also you ask yourself, whereas I cannot control the things that are happening outside the world, whomsoever is here, I want you to tell me, who amongst you can stop the war in Iran? You cannot stop the war in Iran. You are not in control of US, you're not in control of Israel, you're not in control of Iran. So you waking up and starting to be so worried, maybe probably because you have relatives there, you have businesses there, maybe that's the main cause for worry. But if you do not have business, you can only pray and put those people in the hands of the Lord, because it is outside your jurisdiction. So when you say things are not easy, get a skill. Get a skill. When you get a skill, you start looking for opportunity. Can you cook? When you can cook, you are in the line of restaurant and food. Can you sing? Can you act? You're in the line of entertainment. Can you style yourself? You're in the you're in the line of fashion. We have been given a chance to explore the things we can do to be better. So people fear old age, but old age is in the future and it must come. People fear death. Death is in the future and it must come. That's why those I can't fear. People fear losing loved ones, but still you can't control how your loved ones live. You get the idea? So stop filling your thinking with worry. Start filling your thinking with, where can I get a skill? And look for opportunities from my skill. I hope, Namanya, that answers your question. All right, let me look for it. Ask a question. The question must be business, money, finance. Do you already have your ticket for the masterclass, which is coming on 11th April? If you already have, I want to thank you. All right, let me hear another question. Professor, what things do wealthy and rich need to inform themselves in order to keep relevant. Okay, I think you want to. Cleve, I'm trying to understand this question. What things do the wealthy and the rich need to inform themselves with in order to keep relevant? When you add the word relevant, it plays me, but this is what I have to tell you, that the people who are wealthy and the people who are rich, the people who have money, they always have a network that supplies them with opportunities. They have a network that supplies them with opportunities. You remember, if you've been following my lives from way back, there was a time I told you about when we almost lost 1 billion shillings. When we were in a transaction and we almost lost 1 billion shillings. We had gone to the bank, and these thieves had sold land worth 1 billion. They were to get 750 million. And when we entered the bank, the land was worth 1 billion. Brokerage was 250 million. These guys claimed they were selling, and they were supposed to get 750 million. But I want to promise you that the wealthy man who was in this transaction, who was buying the land, he had brokers whom he sends to the estate to check, to get to know the different prices. So what I learned is the wealthy are always aware of the price. They just keep in the network that informs them of the price. If they wanted to buy a car, someone is telling them of the price, whether it's being imported, the taxes it will pay, and here. So the wealthy are informed about the price from either their brokers or friends. The wealthy are informed of the tax to be paid on everything, whether it's for their company, whatever they want to engage in, they keep on asking, what is the tax? The wealthy are always informed about the law. So they never jump into anything without knowing the law. You remember I gave you an example that if you wanted to buy a building, Nicholas akuwagamba ki? Mujeko. Anyway, so I was saying the wealthy never go into any transaction without the information from their tax advisor, from a valuer, from their lawyer. I asked you friends, did you know if you went to buy a building that is commercial, then there will be VAT to be charged on a commercial building? And yet, when you go to buy a residential building, there will be withholding tax to be paid by the one who is buying. You get the idea. So when you're buying a building, imagine not knowing that this is a commercial building and it has to pay tax. Imagine not knowing that this is a residential building and it has to pay withholding tax. Revenue will just check the transaction and come back later and say, where is our withholding tax for this block of apartments which you bought? So it is so important to answer your question. What I know is the wealthy always move with a lawyer, move with a surveyor, move with a valuer, move with the tax consultant. The wealthy even go to the doctor to to get an opinion about a certain disease or sickness or healthy living. You get. So, information. Okay. I'm looking for a question, but you're not sharing. I don't know why. Professor, can someone secure his wealth through agreement land, or it should be titled only? So I warned you about agreement land. It is a very weak tenure to protect land with agreements, because people who sell land with agreements, they change location. Witnesses die, all these things. So it reaches some time that you have a full load of paperwork, but you can't trace anyone who witnessed the transaction. You get. So for me, in my view, I buy titled land, because if you buy land with agreements, then it means the seller is not the owner. If you're into agreements, the seller who is giving you the agreement was also a person in law we call a lessee. And you might find this seller of yours was not paying ground rent. If he was not paying ground rent, it means the owner of that land later can do what we call in law a forfeiture, to come and take back their land, because you people who have been on his land have not been paying ground rent. So I usually advise that if possible, you transact in titled land. But if your money does not allow, you can play in those agreements, and you'll be telling me the experience you have from there. Mark K says, Professor, is it advisable to build rentals on my father's land? I told you, was it yesterday? There is a Latin maxim that says, whatever is on land becomes part of the land. In Latin, we say, quic quid plantatur, solo sedit. Quic quid plantatur, solo sedit. So mark case, if you build rentals on your father's land, then it means the rentals belong to your father. Quic quid plantatur, solo sedit. Whatever fixture is put on the land and it gets attached to it, it becomes part of the land. So there is nothing like the rentals are mine, the land is my father's. The moment the rentals are built with brick and mortar. So what you could do is get into an agreement, probably with your father, and work out something. Why doesn't he sell you part of the land, such that you build rentals without any future trouble? Because in the future, if God forbid God calls your father and your father answers God's call, then it means whatever he owned as property will go and become his estate. And then you will need an executor or an administrator, and then they will distribute. When they distribute, they are giving those things to all the beneficiaries. You will be so surprised by your relatives and brothers and sisters arguing with you over those rentals on your father's land. You will tell me, I'm already in a case where there was a school being built on my client's land. So my client has land. There is a school that was built, and there is now, the school was being run by a parent. The parent passed on. Now the siblings are pulling the school this side, yet the land belonged to my client. So because the land belongs to my client, then it means also the buildings of the school belong to my client. So the other people need a lawyer to advise them better, like I'm advising my client. So I hope I have answered your question. Mayor Worried Gadgets is saying, how productive is it to practice American agriculture on large scale? What is American agriculture? Teach me. First teach me. What is American agriculture? I might not know what American agriculture is. So Bokenya Francis is saying, how do I work on personal branding? Please share more. 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 I want to see you sharing more. So Bukenya Francis is saying, how do I work on personal branding? Because we all agree that you need to first of all know what is a brand. A brand is how people feel about you or the product. For example, when I drive an S-Class and I come in the parking lot, everyone already knows it's expensive. Everyone already knows it's a high class car. So Mercedes-Benz has made us feel that when you buy a Benz, you've made it. That's their brand. That's how we feel. It's like people who it's like people go to, if you went to University of London like I did, if you went to Harvard, if you went to an Ivy League school, the brand is you've made it. So when I went to SMARC, we all know that when you ask someone, where did you go to school, and they say, I went to SMARC, I went to St. Mary's College, Subi. SMARC has built a brand. A brand is how do people feel about you. So people feel that if you went to SMARC, you're sharp upstairs. You get the idea. So when you say, how do I work on personal branding? The question is, what are you providing as a service? What are you providing as a product? But whatever you're providing, can you try to be consistent such that people start getting to know you, start getting a certain feeling about you? Let me give you another example. All the people who deal with me when I'm selling them land, my clients, they have a feeling that I'm the most trusted land dealer in the country. So when I open an estate and I say there is land, people don't want to see where the land is. And it's not like the land does not exist. It's not like it's the best practice not to see where the land is. But my clients, because I've made them feel in a certain way, they do not want to see where the land is. They just say, if Professor has opened an estate, I must be part of it, send me bank details. So that is branding. So I've built the trust that in all these years, all the people who have bought land from me have never had a court case. I've never had any struggle with the title that has failed to be transferred. Have never had any forgery on their land. Have never failed. I've never struggled to say that my land did not have value. You get? And that comes from John 19:30. Let me give you John 19:30. I'll start with Isaiah. Is it Isaiah 9:6? So I'm going to start from Isaiah 9:6 and then take you to John I'm going to start from Isaiah 9:6, then go to Matthew 1:3, then take you to John 19:30. So I want you to first write all those. I want you to first help me write. I want you to first write whatever you've had in form of verses. So I've told you to write Isaiah 9:6, Isaiah chapter 9 verse 6. Then you will go and write Matthew. I think from Matthew we will go to Matthew 1:3. Are you there? Let me see. I wonder why they're not. So have you written? Then John 19:30. So when we go to Matthew, let me see the verse we shall need in 3. We are going to read all of them in tandem such that these things make sense. I usually never want to teach you when there is no backup. Usually most of the questions you ask me, the answers were already given. Okay. Just a moment. Just a moment. All right, so okay, so Isaiah 9:6 told us that to us a child is born, to us a child is born, to us a child is born, to us a child is born. 656. Okay. Isaiah 9:6 I'm reading. So Isaiah 9:6 says, a child is born to us, a son is given to us, and he will be our ruler. He will be called Wonderful Counselor. So, a child is born to us, a son is given to us, he will be our ruler. He will be called Wonderful Counselor. So I want to also go, now Isaiah is talking about Jesus will be called a Wonderful Counselor. So I want to move to come to Matthew and be able to look for, I want a Bible verse in Matthew where they announced Jesus' birth. He will be called Emmanuel. That's the verse I want. It's Matthew 1:23. So initially we had written Matthew 1:3, but change it to Matthew 1:23. So when we go to Matthew 1:23, Matthew 1:23, what does it say? Matthew 1:23 says, a virgin will become pregnant and have a son, and he will be called Emmanuel, which means God is with us. Now, did you see Isaiah 9:6? By the way, even though we are dealing with Bibles, I'm teaching you branding. And if you capture this lesson of branding, you'll be the best. But I want to teach you where it comes from. So Isaiah 9:6 says, to us a child is born. To us a child is born. He will be our ruler. He will be called Wonderful Counselor. So they announced the name of Jesus before he was born. They gave him a title, Wonderful Counselor. When we come to Matthew 1:23, they keep on saying that a virgin will become pregnant and have a son, and he will be called Emmanuel. They have given Jesus another name to mean God is with us. But what happens in John 19? In John 19:30. I want you to go to John 19:30. Is it John 19:30? How did I John 19:30 is on Tetelestai, but I will also explain it. Let's write John 1:29. John 1:29. Are you there? John 1:29. John 19:30, I will explain it, but let's use John 1:29. Are you there? So, John 1:29. John chapter 1 verse 29. The next day, John saw Jesus coming to him and said, there is the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. There is the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. So the verses we've read Isaiah 9:6, Matthew 1:23, John 1:29. Those are the three verses I want you to combine. Isaiah 9:6, Matthew 1:23, John 1:29. And the lesson to pick is, I want you to notice that when they announce Jesus before he comes, they announce his name. But later when Jesus comes, no one is calling him the names they talked about. No one is calling him a Prince of Peace. No one is calling him Emmanuel. They started calling Jesus by what he was making them feel. That's why you see John is saying, there comes the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world. So it means after interacting with Jesus, now they no longer call him Emmanuel. They do not call him the Prince of Peace. They call him the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world. And this is the greatest lesson in branding. When people see you, they should stop calling you by your name. They should start saying, there comes the cameraman who takes the best pictures for weddings. There comes the cook, the chef, who can handle every meal. There comes the accountant. When he handles your books, no tax deficiency, no struggle. The moment they start calling you by what you're doing, you've made it in personal branding. That's why it is so important that when you go, if you've seen me do my introductions in speech, I can speak and speak and speak without telling people my name. Because the name is not important. It is how you make them feel that is important. So when I come to give a talk, I just start with the story. I do not start saying, my name is Newton BUTERABA, I'm from House of Wealth. You see, House of Wealth has been around. I have 4 degrees. I went to there. When I come and I start speaking, and they have hired me to speak, the moment I get a microphone, I start by saying, what if I told you that you can move from debt to zero and from zero to abundance? People, now they want to know. So I give them how to deal with debt. I tell them how to handle money, such that by the time I finish, they are the ones to ask the MC. But that man did not give us his contact. That man did not give us his name. They do not want the name. They just want to say, there comes the man. When he holds the mic to talk about money, you become wealthy. There comes the man. When he talks about land, he makes you a landlord. There comes a man who helps others get out of debt. So that's how I make them feel. That's why my personal brand is up there. I keep on telling you. I keep on telling you. My personal brand is up there. But also, you make sure you do not confuse people with your brand. A Mercedes must be expensive. The moment the Mercedes is cheap, it means we shall stop buying it. It must be what we call luxury. Tell your neighbor, luxury. That's what you call luxury. Did you know? You've been looking at that word and reading it wrong. You've been reading that word wrong the whole entire time. You've been calling it luxury. The word is pronounced luxury. It's like where you see XU, it's like there is an SH with U. Luxury. Luxury. So Mercedes is luxury. It's spare, expensive. Buying the car, expensive. That's why they maintain the price in the air, such that when you buy it, you feel there is some element. You've broken barriers, such that all the people who do not have it, when they see it, they keep on saying, when I get my money, I will get the car. But now I do not have money to buy a Mercedes. You get the idea? It's branding. So Mercedes has made us clogged in the mind that you need money to own it. You need money to maintain it. There is a company in the UK, you read about it, it's called Burberry. So most of these companies, Burberry, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, most of these designer brands, Burberry, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, they come and sell a bag and they say this bag is £2,000. Even Versace also does it. Versace, Louis Vuitton, Burberry. I want you to do your research. These companies, when they announce something, when they announce the sale of goods, and those goods are not Hermes, when they announce the sale of goods and the goods are not bought, they ban them. Did you know? They collect all of the goods and ban them. Do you know why they banned them? So I read and I was inquiring, why don't they give, people were asking, why don't they give them, why don't they sell them on the cheap? Why don't they give them to people? They do not want these goods on the black market. Because if one holds a Hermes and it costs them £10,000, they want to be the only ones with that bag. The moment they find you and you start telling them for you, you know where to get it at 2,000, then this Hermes would have lost the value of how it makes the utility, how it makes the holder feel. So I want you to make sure that every time you are at a function and you're giving out your name or contact, do not give out the name or company name. Give out what you do such that they save you as Newton Land, Newton Business Consultant. Let them save you with what you do, because when someone is stuck, you check yourself. When you're stuck and you need something from your phone, you need a person to call, do you look for people by name or you type in by what they do? You need a painter, you start typing in a paint. You start Claire, you know Ali Bags? Ali Bags sold me bags. Ali Bag was with me at LDC. He sold me bags. So you look at when you're struggling, you're stuck. When what you look out for, you start typing in things people do. You start looking for a plumber. You start typing border, Uber. If you hand over your name, a person will have very many names in their phone. They will never remember you. For example, look at a person like me who has over 8,000 phone contacts. Did you see that? 8,000. Did you see that? 8,000 phone contacts. Do you think I'm going to be looking for a name? No, I'll be typing MC if I need an MC. I'll be typing painter. So when you're handing over a contact and you want to build a network, make sure they save. If they have saved your name, let them add what you do. Let them save Nixon Clothes, Rose Shoes, Allen Deco, Waswa Cleaner, such that when they are stuck with what they want, they will be because when we are stuck and we need something, we look for the activity. Out of video. I see that you've only shared up to 39. Let's share up to 100. TikTok, let's do more sharing and double tapping. Let's let more people know that we are. Let's let more people know. So Novale Living is saying, how about those of us who do a number of things? All of us do a number of things, but there is that one thing that is the gateway. I'm a lecturer. I teach money. I'm a lawyer. I sell land. I give business advisory. But there is something they know me for. You will find people know me for business, or they know me for land. You get, there is something they know you for. Let them first know you for something. When they know you for that one thing, the rest will always follow. What do you know Mandela for? So Mandela has Mandela Millers, has City Oil, has Cafe Javas. I'm also told he's a president of Sports Club Villa. So do you think when Mandela is handing over his number, he's saying Mandela Sports Club Villa? But he's the president of the most decorated club in the country. You get the idea. All right. I see you've only shared up to 48, and yet you're more than 100. You're more than 200 people. So I will only return to TikTok if we've shared up to more than 100. Let me go to YouTube and see. Morganwa Douglas is saying, Professor, I love your podcasts. Greetings to Mercedes. Question: how fast can someone learn a new language to use it in a new area, in a new business or a job? Douglas, surely learning a new language is always going to depend on learning a new language is going to depend on interest. There are usually things I know about learning a new language. The way human beings were designed, we usually pick up a language when we are young. It's very, very easy to pick up a language because it is the only way to survive. When a kid is young and the kid hears adults speaking, the kid wants to partake in the conversation, but they can't. So they can't ask for milk, they can't say they are sick. At the end of it all, the kid can't survive well. So what the kid does is to start picking the language. The kid starts speaking the language. People are discussing, people are talking and all that. So that helps the kid a lot. And that is because the kid wants to survive in that environment. Now, when we grow, the language will actually be a lot on the goal we are trying to chase. If you are assured that the job is coming, it's usually you will learn the language very fast, but it's going to come from like two things: your interest and your practice. Your interest and your practice. And these days it's so easy to learn a new language because on TikTok there are thousands of people teaching languages, and they are teaching them in a way that we can learn. You remember, because I remember when we were when I was still in my O level in Gombe SS, we learned Arabic. I studied Arabic from senior 1 to senior 3. But they would beat people who would perform poorly in a foreign language like Arabic. I did French. So imagine being fluent in English, being fluent in French, and also learning Arabic, yet your mother tongue is Luganda. That is a working of the brain. So what you need to do is get to know the kind of business you're entering or the kind of job. Pick the desire, that interest to learn. Get a practicing partner such that you communicate. You do the greetings, and then you start using you start learning using scenarios. For example, you say, if I went to a restaurant and I'm speaking Arabic, how best can I if I went to a restaurant? So it means you need to increase all your entire vocabulary of words in a restaurant. Did I tell you of a story when I was in the UK and I was working as a waiter in a hotel, and they said that the guests who were coming the next day were Germans? I learned all the words that I needed to learn in German to work as a waiter. I had a lot of interest. So at night, I kept on learning, Google giving me the sound and me writing down. So when these people arrived at the hotel, this was a 5-star hotel in Windsor, and The whole entire employee group, none of us could speak German. We had people who could speak French, people who could speak Indian, Hindi, people who could speak English, people who could speak French, all these other languages. But none of us could speak German. So I went and learned German. That night, I was learning words. In the morning, when this gets stand up, I said, Guten Morgen, haben Sie gute schlafen? The Germans almost fainted. Number one, I was black. Number two, I pronounced those things to the dot. They almost fainted. So they actually thought that I knew a lot of German, and they bombarded me with a lot of German, but I just smiled and ran away with my tray. So I picked their orders. Then I found one of them was an old lady, and I confessed to her that actually, even though I was a star there at the entrance, I'm not very good at German. And she said she's going to teach me very, very little things. So she asked me, I asked her, how do we say, is this good? Because when you're a waiter, you must ask customers, is the meal good? Have you enjoyed? And she told me, there you say, ist es gut? So when I went to the other table, I found them eating, and I asked, ist es gut? And they bombarded me with more German. I didn't know German. I was just smiling, and I moved away. I met another couple, and I told them, ist es gut? And they also bombarded me with German. And I told them, I'm learning. I do not know German, but I'm just learning. So I will need to learn how they say, I wish you a very nice day. Because usually when a guest is to leave a hotel, you must wish them a nice day. So this couple told me that they say, Ich wünsche dir einen schönen Tag. So when I was seeing people coming out after breakfast, I was saying, Ich wünsche dir einen schönen Tag. They were holding their head, and they asked me for pictures. We took pictures. They tipped me. I think these people tipped me up to they could have given me almost 500 euros on that particular breakfast alone. Imagine a person like me who was not having a lot of money at the time, and you give me $500 500 euros from just serving. So that's why I was telling you that the interest is so key. When you have the interest, all you need is that little practice and here and there, and you pick on the language. All right, so since we've already taken an hour, I would like to let you know, friends, that on 11th April, I've not seen you people buy tickets. So which masterclasses do you guys attend for business? I have not seen any of you on the list. I have not seen any of you on the list to support me in the masterclass which I have organized on 11th April. So the question is, where do you spend money to add knowledge to yourselves? Where? You answer me. Where do you spend money to add knowledge to yourselves? I've organized and I've put up a masterclass. We shall be teaching entrepreneurs on how to build businesses that can last, because we've realized that in Africa and Uganda in general, when people start up businesses, those businesses struggle after the first year. They die. Second year, die. Third year, they die. So we are like, but how can people build long-lasting businesses? So I will be sharing how I've built House of Wealth. Let me tell you something. House of Wealth makes 10 years next year. So how has a company that I started in 2017 being able to attract clients in 90 countries. These are things really you need to know. How? In 90 countries, with all the big, you just mentioned the big league. Big league, the biggest bank is Stanbic Bank. They are our clients. Absa Bank, they are our clients. But the organization with the most money, NSSF, is a client of House of Wealth. The World Bank, Enterprise Uganda, AB InBev, those are the world's largest makers of alcohol. So if you're having your small, young business, these are the conversations you should be in. Where are you going to spend your 100K that you will have in a conversation in the same room? Newton Buteraba with a company of almost 10 years. Brenda Sekabembe, the CEO of Bake For Me, with 25 years. Ronald Mukasa with a company of 24 years. Perfume Lounge, I thank you for sharing the live. These other people are not sharing the live. They are not, you guys, and you are not sharing the live. You are not double tapping to like the screen. You're not paying tickets to attend a masterclass. What are you? Are you sons of Satan in the flesh? You are enemies of progress in the flesh. Who told you that when you share a live, you are charged tax? Who told you that when you double tap the screen such that the algorithm knows that to tell people that you come and at least also get your share? Because people need to come and attend these lives and ask their questions. They might not afford the 10,000 per minute which I charge. So this is the time, surely. If you've not shared the live, you've not double tapped the screen, you've not bought a ticket, you've not called a friend. Are you? What are you? Who are you? Really. All right. So next question. So 11th April. 11th April from 8:30 a.m. in the morning. So it means when we have something to eat from the hotel on the money you've paid, then we will learn from 8:30 to 1 p.m. 8:30 to 1 p.m. So if you've just started businesses, and you see business is tough. You have to know how to deal with employees. You have to know how to deal with taxes. A ticket is only 100,000. This is Alibad, 100,000. And the numbers to pay to 0706 582 868. Put the number in the chat. (0706 582 868). The teaching will be in Luganda. The teachers will all teach in Luganda. We shall teach in Luganda. So if that's the number, you buy your ticket. There won't be online attendance. We want to talk. We want you to come physically. What is holding you? You're out of the country. So Eden Spices, if you've already bought the tickets, you're the people I would love to hear from. You're the best. Actually, Eden Spices, you ask a question, Sixth Sense 40. You ask a question, I want to answer you. I don't think the organizers will run a Zoom. They have paid a lot of money to the hotel to have a conference. So we want you to surely be able. We want you to be able to manage employees, handle taxes, manage expansion. Do you know that in Uganda, most businesses start off well, but when the owner tries to open another branch, disaster. The owner trying to open another branch, disaster, and everything falls. In Uganda, people start businesses. Everything runs well. The owner approaches a financial institution to borrow. Everything disaster. The owner starts businesses. After starting a business, managing success becomes a problem. You see them buying Porsche cars, you see them constructing, you see them marrying. These are very nice things to do. But what? How do you do them? How do you do them? That's something we want you to learn, such that you build to last. Eh? So, Alibags, my learned friend is asking, would you advise someone first go abroad after campus to acquire capital, then come back to invest? If there is a chance to acquire capital abroad, I have no problem. Because the idea is, at any one moment, we need the capital. Especially if you've... Yes! Spurs has scored, which means Liverpool is put to level. Now Liverpool can't be chasing Manchester in third place. I'm giving you the news live. But will they be able to hold on to it? So Alibags, if you can go abroad and there is a way. You see, what I've realized is when you go abroad, there is a lot to learn when you go abroad. Just the process of getting this, the passport, the visa, plane, landing, the questions at the entry, getting into a new country. That leaving of the comfort zone in your motherland, is what actually helps people become better. You get? So a person like me, I left my motherland. I went to the UK in the coldness. I was riding a bike for 6 miles. Imagine riding a bicycle at night in the cold, and you ride and it rains and it's winter. My friends, in the winter, riding a bicycle in the winter, people in the cars are cold. Imagine being on a bicycle in winter. So when you leave your comfort zone, you give yourself a chance to be a better manager for the businesses you'll be doing. Eh? I don't know. I don't see him. I wonder, did he send me WhatsApp? Let me check. We were supposed to be with Dixon today, but I don't know. I do not see him. Huh? We were supposed to be with Dixon today, but I don't know what really happened. Let me try to look for him and see. Hey, he said he joined at 2018. Let me see. Where are the requests? When I check here, I don't see the requests. Dixon. Where is Dixon? Where is my brother? Dixon, if you can hear me, kindly send through your requests. All along, I didn't know. I thought he had. Love, I do not see any request here. The guest request that I have, Jonathan Kasumba, Andrew, CEO, Perfume Lounge. Kindly send me a request, Dixon. Dixon, if you're watching, kindly send me a request. Dixon, kindly send me a request. So, yeah, Nasuna Salma is saying, that's why you're a responsible man today. Yes. Ali Bags is saying, hey, Grace Nana, nzoga nyeno bulamu. And let me tell you, I think it's also important to do these things while you're still young. Because when I look at myself now, being 42, I do not think I can handle. I do not think I can go back to Britain and ride that bike for 6 miles in the coldness in the winter. There is something about being brave while we are still young. That's why I usually advise people to make sure they can make as many mistakes as possible. Spurs in yinza okwongeramu wano eyokubiri, Spurs eyinza okuteekamu wano eyokubiri. Ono mwana tamanyi kusamba mpira yayagadde draw. So I want to tell you, when you're young, take all the risks. When you're young, take all the risks. I want to tell you something that I remember in my whole entire journey. Last 5 minutes. I want to tell you something, but the game is over. I want to tell you something that I remember in my whole entire journey, and I shake my head. From my home to Windsor, where the hotel was, there used to be a place which was a cemetery. A cemetery. You know a cemetery where they bury people. So I used to ride my bike through a cemetery. There was a part that had a cemetery. How am I hearing this for the first time? How am I hearing this for the first time? There was a part that had a cemetery that I had to ride through. That part was called Englefield Green. Englefield Green was a shorter distance to the hotel, but it had a cemetery. So if I didn't want to go through the longer route, I had to go through Englefield Green. But there was a time at night when I could fear for myself. So he says he has sent me a request. Let me accept Dixon. My brother.
Yes, my brother.
How are you, Dixon?
Good. How are you?
I am well. I'm sorry I think when you joined, I think I was unable to track you here to be able to have you really come through, and I've spoken for 1.5 hours. Now I want to be the one to ask questions which I read here such that you help these people get answers. you can first greet these people who are live.
Okay. Hello, wonderful people. I hope you are very well. How is your Sunday or Saturday, Monday, wherever you are? I'm glad to be with you here once again to share a few nuggets and maybe to share my mistakes so that you don't repeat them, because if you repeat them now, most likely you'll be on your way up country. Most likely, because times have really changed. Times have changed. So I'm glad to join you and share a few nuggets about business, starting small, starting with nothing, but thriving in this city. Happy to be here.
Thank you very much, Dixon. Billy B is asking.
Okay.
Billy B is asking, what's the best stage to get angel investors into a business, most especially a niche business? I think you can start matching on that one.
Yes. Thank you so much. What is the best stage to get angel investors? By them being angel investors, it means they are coming in at the real start. At the real start, when you don't have nothing. By them being really invest, as in you have an idea and you've told maybe a family member, you've told your dad, you've told some other person who just likes your idea and want to give in some small amount of money, which actually might not be, you don't have to pay it back. So angel investors usually come in at the very start of the business, and but also on the side of investors, I would like to pass on a caution. Be very careful when an investor comes to you, whether a venture capitalist, whether an angel investor. Be very careful, because they come looking for themselves. They come looking for their own good. What is it in for the investor? So for you, because you need some maybe 5K US dollars, you end up giving up 10% of your company. But of course, for you just started. You see it's just small. But give it 3, 4, 5 years, that 8% will be something big. So, and actually, even some investors, their aim might even just take your company. They come and trick you with clauses which you don't even read because you're starting and you think the company has no value. Then you end up giving up so much equity for so less. So I would advise you to take angel investors at the start, because it's okay. An angel investor can even give you money before, as in without even expecting you to pay it back. Can just trust your idea. Some might want to pay back, but others might say, let me just invest in you 20K, 30K, or maybe 5K, and you run your business. But you just need to be careful. So at any stage, when you're starting, and usually those who don't have capital, you can move around family and friends to be angel investors. Those who can invest in you something small, they can. So that's my few cents on that. However, my biggest point here is be careful on the kind of investor that you're getting into your company. Be very careful.
All right. Thank you very much. So I want to bring on some people to be able to ask their questions. Let me bring on. Who can I bring on? If you send through a request, if you want to come and ask your question. Okay. What does it cost to register a company? How I need your advice, either to give up on Jubilee saving and go to NSSF. The question is, what are you saving for? So Nasuna Saluma is asking Dixon, omuntu yandyewoze ddi to add value in business? In other words, she's asking, when can someone borrow to add value in a business?
That's Salma. Okay.
Yes.
That's a nice question, Salma. The good thing you've mentioned the word value. You've mentioned, when does one borrow to add value to a business? That is very critical, because the challenge we have is we borrow business money but end up using it for other things, and that's when we fail to pay and the business is gone, the money is gone at the end of the day. You go lie to the bank that I want to put my business, then you pay school fees. You go lie to the bank that you have your books maybe, but you misappropriate the money. Back to your question on when is it good to borrow to add value to a business? I think there is a time when you want to recapitalize your business, and by the way, even before borrowing, must you borrow?
That's a very good question.
Must you? Yeah, borrowing should not be the real first alternative for you. Must you borrow? Have you looked around for every other avenue to refinance your business and you failed? Have you failed to get clients who can pay in advance? Have you failed to get a friend who can give you maybe
cheap money,
interest-free money? Have you, as in, before you really borrow, first
idle assets, which
exactly.
can be sold
first
off.
Exhaust. Even idle assets. Do you have 2 cars, that which you're not using as a company, and you go and liquidate one and inject back in your business? As in, first look around. What else can you do? How else can you raise money apart from borrowing? So now, if you find you don't have any other avenue of borrowing, now look. As long as you're going to add value to a business, good enough. You've mentioned value. Are you going to expand? Now, expansion has its own problems. Very companies have died because they borrow to expand. They cannot manage the 2 branches. I'm a good example. I had a video in one day. I think I mentioned this. I don't know if last time I video in one day. It was doing very well. I think that's when our friend Lilet Kanal was my tenant.
Yes.
He was my tenant. It was doing so well. Then I decided to go and expand to Naukulavi. I went to Naukulavi and I put a video library opposite Mengo Secondary School in front of some garage.
That is Bukesa.
Bukesa, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I put video library in
Bukesa. The moment you said garage, because that's where they used to work on my cars, opposite the main entrance of Mengo Secondary. So you brought movies to spare parts. Continue.
and it was next to a garage.
Yes.
It was full of oil.
Yes.
Actually, one part of the container. It was even a container. One part of the container was a garage. It had oil in there. Next part was my video library. I even thought that students from Mengo would actually borrow movies, which was not the case, because they have curfew at home. You don't take movies at home in your father's house.
They even go with they go with coursework and work to do homework.
They go with coursework and work, so you can't go with homework at home and then you go with a movie.
With a movie.
So it was total miscalculation. I started picking money from one year, taking it to now
Bukesa.
Now, so they both started struggling. And until actually I ran away, I left. I don't even think I paid rent for last month. I ran away. I left the entire business.
Let me tell you something.
If I had borrowed,
Hey,
yes.
you know why you mentioned something that is very important. Me and my late friend called Tony. You know Tony Kanalo Ngovi.
They're not only
Yes. So when we had just left campus, we got a house somewhere after Kasubi in a place called Kawala. We looked for a place to stay and we got a house. So that house was, I remember, it was 130,000 Ugandan shillings. So Tony had to bring 65 and I also bring 65. But because we were selling technology and no one was buying websites, Tony was still studying at LDC. I was also still struggling to find what to do. Do you know we decided one night and we just ran out of the house. When he died, I gave a speech and everyone in the tent was dying of laughter because we struggled with rent, and then we said, now this night he borrowed his brother's car. We packed our things at night and we left. But the lesson was, because at his burial I was telling these people that by the time Tony died, he had gotten into a deal as a lawyer and he had got 10 acres in Sisa as a lawyer because he argued the case well, and they only paid him in land. So in kind. So they started with 10 acres, then it went to 6 acres. And on those 6 acres, he sold me 2. So I was telling people that it is always good to know that everything good is in the future. Everything good is in the future, because by the time these people who could not pay. Hi, Alex Kakande. Nice to join us on this live. I will. I've seen a bond question, so I'm going to bring you on such that you help us also answer that. So I was telling you that by the time he died, he had gotten land, which is if you multiplied 500 million per acre times 6 acres, that is 3 billion. But this is a person who earlier we could not afford to pay rent in Kawala. So I usually tell people, when you have a hustle, just stay alive and do everything that is correct. Everything you see now that you can't handle. Everything you see now that you can't handle, I want to promise you can handle in the future. You just keep on running. So continue.
And maybe to add on that, you see, you can only add to what is there. That means when you close today, that means you will lose out on the clients of tomorrow. And what I would like to advise you is, make sure, because it's progressive, try as much as possible not to lose the client that you have. The client that you have, try to make sure you pamper them, don't take them for granted, because it's going to be more expensive to get a new client as opposed to retaining the one that you have. So back to the borrowing question. So if you're going to borrow, as long as you're going to add value, if you must you borrow? That is one. Do you have any assets that are redundant that you can sell off and maybe reinvest in your business? Basically, all other avenues, once you cannot, once you've exhausted them and you think what you're going to do is going to put value in the company, then it's okay. You can go ahead and borrow. Then now also borrowing. Where do you borrow? please don't go to money lenders, because you will no that interest rate will kill you. Don't sign contracts of I've sold my car when you've not sold it. And don't wait. Actually, look for money when you don't need it. If you want to borrow next year, start today to prepare your book, so that by the time you go to the bank next year, you basically your books are talking, and the bank will be looking for you. So if you want to borrow next year, start organizing the books this year, so that by the time you're going to borrow next year, then you have the what? You have the right books. The bank is actually looking for you, and you don't have to spend so much time. So look for money when you don't need it. It's when you'll get it, especially if you want to borrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mahad, I see you are online. I'm going to give you a chance to ask a question. Mr. Kakande, Alex, I've sent you an invite because I have a question here. Someone is asking, can a non-citizen be allowed to invest in bonds in Uganda, and what's the criteria? So I thought you would be best placed to answer him. Mahad, you can go ahead and ask a question.
Okay, how are you, sir?
We are fine. How are you, Mahad?
Good. My question is about leverage. And I'm asking that when dealing with a form of leverage called OPK, which is other
people's knowledge.
Yes. What does Proverbs 23:23 mean? Like what is it hiding behind in that verse? You can read it out so that other people can understand, and then elaborate.
All right, so Proverbs 23. Proverbs
23.
Okay. So Proverbs 23 says, truth, wisdom, learning, and good sense, these are worth paying for, but too valuable for you to sell. Truth, wisdom, learning, and good sense, these are worth paying for, but too valuable for you to sell. Let me see whether I can have
ask the question relying to that verse so that you can understand it well.
Okay. Can you give us an
okay? Of leverage,
okay, just a moment.
The form of leverage is called. Okay.
Just a moment. So 23 says, by the truth, gula amazima, by the truth, and do not sell it. Also wisdom and instruction and understanding, by the truth, and do not sell it. Okay, you go ahead.
So the verse is saying, buy the truth and sell it not.
Yes.
Also wisdom and instructions
and understanding. Yes.
Yes. So I'm saying that my question is, how does it rely with a form of leverage called OPK, or other people's knowledge? What is the hidden meaning in that verse?
All right. Okay, I think let me first bring it for the people to all of us be at par. So leverage, when I talked about leverage, I was telling people that leverage is when you put in little but you get more. Imagine when you go to court. When you go to court and you hire a lawyer, you're using other people's knowledge. You're using your lawyer's knowledge. And that lawyer can win you a case. And that case can be worth 2 billion. And you pay a lawyer 200 million. So you have leveraged the lawyer's knowledge, which is OPK, other people's knowledge. So you pay a lawyer the lawyer argues a case, you save 2 billion and you pay a lawyer 200 million. So without a lawyer, you would have lost 2 billion. Now, when you start saying, how does it relate with Proverbs 23:23? Proverbs 23:23 is saying that buy truth and do not sell it. Proverbs 23:23. It's saying buy truth and do not sell it. I think in my view, they are trying to tell people to gather the truth, but not use the truth for personal gain or for the worldly gain. Let me give you an example. Did you see how COVID was? There were countries that got to know that this is COVID, which is a pandemic taking all over the world. Their research, I think, in China had shown them how they can do it. And these people, they were countries which had vaccines. So they knew the truth about how COVID moves, how it spreads, how it can be controlled. Now, initially, they wanted to sell, but then they realized that the deaths were so many, and they gave up on the worldly gain, and they started saying, we shall give you vaccines to save you from the death. I think the meaning in Proverbs is trying to tell us not to overgo for the worldly gain, for the things we know. And I think it's what we are doing here. People who are alive here are getting truth, are getting understanding, are getting wisdom, are getting knowledge from me and Dixon. But you will find that today we are not charging them any money. So it somehow it's telling us to strike a balance with the world and what we must do when we have the knowledge, the truth, wisdom, and understanding. Dixon, do you have?
So just as you charge 10K per minute,
Yes.
but you say that I will save a Sunday to teach people for free. That is the verse.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes.
Thank you, Mahal. So do we have a question? Let me see who has sent a request. 5 requests. Sherina. Suna. Rose. All right, so Dixon, what? Dixon, you had a view. You also had a view on something.
Yeah. I wanted to just chip in a little bit there on Proverbs 23. Mahad of basically the value that first teaches the value of truth and
Understanding,
wisdom.
yes.
It generally urges a person to pursue truth and understanding with determination and to guard them once obtained. When they say buy truth, they're not really saying purchase with money. I don't know if you get it. If Matt gets it, they are saying seek truth at any cost. Verse saying invest effort and time, humility and discipline to get basically to gain it, to gain that truth. Then it also it implores us to value truth more than comfort, for popularity. So when someone gains truth, they should never trade it away for money, for social approval, for convenience, for temporary pressure, and for pressure from others. And like you said, what we are doing here, usually charge how much per hour. But now everyone is getting information free, and that's the practicability of it. So it encourages us. Basically us and all people, to value truth more than material gain, to invest in learning, mentorship, discipline, to remain principled even when it's costly.
True.
Even when it's costly. Then, of course, and finally, you guard integrity in business, leadership, and relationships. Otherwise, you don't want to say something here and then you say nothing the other side. So people must guard your integrity in leadership and relationships. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you very much, Dixon. Sherina, are you there? Sherina, Rowe, please mute. Thank you. Sherina, are you there? It's your turn to ask a question. Sherina Mukisa, can you hear me? All right. As we wait for Sherina, Nasuna, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, please ask a question.
Good evening, all viewers. My name is Nasuna Salma. I'm going to use Lukanda.
Okay. No worries.
I want to explain into the Oblonge.
Okay.
Yes, tukulamusiza Mr. Dixon and Austin. Nze nkolera mu Kikubo.
Okay.
Nagulawo company yange, now it is 11 years. Naye company yayo nali njiguddewo bw'omu. Naye nagenda okugulawo company ne bagamba tebagigulawo ng'oli muntu omu. Ne ngattako brother wange ne mugamba jangu nyambe obeere ku company yange. Kati yali akyali muto by then nga tanatuuka kula. Naye kati yagenda mu America nga tetusaininze papers. Kati naye buli wemba nyina ekintu kye njagala okukola ku company banjuliza ye bangamba alina okuteekako signature kubanga naye director akitegeera ekintu ekyo. Kati olumu nkalubirizi bw'okozesa company eyo nenekanga nga oluusi nkodedde mu link business ng'ate nandibadde njagala nnyo emirimu gyange oba kusuubula kubanga kati tuba tusuubula ebintu ebweru. Abachina baagala nnyo companies tebaagala buno bulink business biki. Kati nfuna obuzibu ng'obwo ebintu ebimu nga director omu nga tasayininzeeko bagamba balaba nga ebitali makulu matuufu. Nsobola kuyambibwa ntya okulaba nga company eno etambula bulungi ate nga nesimugjeeko kubanga nandibadde mwetaagako.
Okay.
Nepa now tali mu Uganda.
Nasuna, ekibuuzo ky'obuuzizza kituulira ddala wakati mu mateeka. Answer yo teva mu business knowledge, eva mu mateeka on how to have a company make decisions. Company bagikola nga abagirowooleza babayita ba directors. So ba director bwe bwongo bwa company. So ba director balina okutuula basalewo ku company kyegenda okukola. Buli lwe batuula mu meeting kye basalawo bagiyita board. So ba director lwe batuula baforminga board kye bavaayo bagiyita board resolution. Kati board resolution eyo yegenda okukola ebintu bye mubeera musazeewo. Teri ayagala kukola na company nga terina resolution. So usually olina kugamba muganda wo n'abeera nga yonna gyali mu America mwatendinga ezo meeting ne mubeera ne resolution eraga nti bwe mwatudde naye yakkiriza. Okujjako ng'oyagala gamba nti awakanya nga takkiriza such that tunoonya engeri endala gye tuyinza okukyogerako mu mateeka engeri gy'oyinza okukitereezaamu. Mpozi ekyaki enyinza okukugamba nti kampani kati amateeka gakyuka, osobola okuggulawo kampani ng'era oli bw'omu, gye tuyita single member company. So kampani esobola okuva kati nga bw'eri eyo gy'olina nga private company nekkirira nefuuka single member company, nebeera nga ebintu obisalawo bw'omu. Naye bw'obeera single member company, mu mateeka tulina kye tuyita alternate director. Obeera ofunayo abantu babiri naye nga gwe nga obeera director omu nga gw'otambuza ekintu. Engeri gye kiri technical nga weetaaga okuyambibwa, nina ekirowoozo nti enamba yange ogirina eya WhatsApp, kyetaaga ne twogera in detail, nembeera nga nsobola okukubuulira transactions z'oyagala okwenyigiramu na biki by'oyinza okukozesa mu mateeka okubeera nga oyina ky'olaga ekiraga nti kampani yo yekitambulizaako. Naye nga usually it's to do with the resolution from the directors, kuba badirector be balowooleza kampani. Kyova olaba kati kubamu akafaananyi, bw'obeera olina kampani neeyagala okwewola, bank tejja kukkiriza kuwola kampani eyo ssente paka ng'erabye nti badirector babadde ne resolution ne basalawo. Olaba kampani etuuka n'ekiseera ng'erinze badirector mutuule musalewo okugulawo bank account. Badirector era mutuula ne musalawo ne mugulawo bank account, ne mugamba ne muwa ne signing mandate. Signing mandate nti bwe twatudde twasazeewo ono yabanga asayiningira bank account. Musobola okuba badirector 7 naye ne mulonda nti bwe twatudde twasazeewo ono omu Nasuuna yaba asayininga, bwe twatudde twasazeewo ono omu Nasuuna yaba asuubula, ebintu bwe bityo. So weetaaga ku advisingibwa legally n'obeera nga waliwo documentation gy'otereezaamu okubeera nga ogenda engulu. Dickson, obadde olinako 2 cents ku ey'ensonga?
Ninako Nasuuna kyoyitamu nkitegeera naye totuulidde. Okay, director naye alina shares mmeka? Maybe kino kiyinza n'okuyambako abantu abalala. Maybe you might not be alone, nga kuliko n'abalala abalina the same problem.
Sadison, kati nali tugulawo kampani eyo, saamanya nti nno bino ebintu by'okubanga nga bashare wakati, kuba brother nga yali tali interested mu kyo, just yali annyambako kuba by then when nali nzigulawo kampani nali sobola kukola kampani bw'omu nga nyina ofuna omuntu. Kati nange we naleeta brother wange ate yanzigulawo kampani teyannyonnyola nti wengaba 50 alina 50 nange nyina 50. Kati teyannyonnyola buzibu buli awo kuba kati twagabanyiza wakati, nze namuwa 50 nange naye n'atwala 50.
Okay, so muli equal shareholders and equal directors. Kati ye bw'omugamba engeri kalakanyizaamu yayogera ki? Yakugamba ki? Talina buzibu? Okay. Okay.
Kuba binsumbuwamu.
Bikusumbuwamuko. Okay, maybe nga nikyo nebwakugambye naye sometimes you can sit mukole resolutions or shipping documents or shipping assigning zikomewo eno nga mulimu resolutions. Yes, resolution no signing no shipping na signing, then nazo ku DHL ne onokwera guided by a lawyer. So kati ojakunonya Newton akuyitiremu naye nga kisoboka leka nemitwalo gonza kati biri ko online kisoboka kwangula ebintu bino. So at least Newton uyo moyo ne namba ya jakola ki agenda kuyamba.
So all right, thank you very much, Nasuuna. We have Najma Poultry Feeds. Can we hear from you, please?
Yes, thank you. Mr. Newton. Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Dixon, good evening too.
Good evening. How are you? This is Najima.
Najima Poultry.
One of my business, emazeewo almost 5 years.
Okay.
Naye yayongera ku bakasitoma tebakendeera tekula kale kati nabadde nenamu ekirowoozo ekyokugiggala nsigaze emu kati muyinza kumpawo omugezi kuba newoba na buli kimu kyonna ekyetaagisa era okufuna abo benyini owaddembe
Naye ng'olina tiketi ya master class Najima.
inshaallah
Kubanga ekibuuzo ky'obuuzizza ndaba ansa zaakyo ziri mu master class. Kubanga mu master class abantu babeera bakugamba nti business bwe yatuuka awo ne ŋŋaaka ngiveemu. Naye mba njagala givaamu nga ndabanga ekonye tekula tegenda maaso tekula kinaye akangite naye ate nenkola bwe nti. So right now the business looks stagnant, but the idea is we shall be sharing avenues because you need to know the pillars of any business. The pillars any business sits on: marketing, finance, operations, human resource and strategy. Kati ebintu ebyo bitaano, empagi ezo ezo, abantu abasinga bagenda ne batandika business nga alina keegi. Kati nga bwolaba wano muganda wange Dickson, ye ojja musanga nga musajja amanyi okutunda. Bw'atundayo ebintu ne bitambula naga lwaki sikola business eno. Naye nga si mulungi mu kubala bya ssente, nga mulungi nnyo mu marketing. Kati business etuuka ng'eyagala kubalansinga bitabo, nga Dickson yagitandise amanyi okutunda naye nga tamanyi balansinga bitabo. Oyinza osanga Newton nga yatandika business ng'amanyi okutunda ng'amanyi no balansinga ebitabo naye nga tamanyi kukwata abantu. So business etuuka awo mu koona n'ebuuza ekibuuzo nti omanyi bwe bafayalinga omuntu nga azizza emisango, omanyi bwe bahayalinga, omanyi bwe baleetamu relative, omanyi bwe bagoba relative, n'ekubuuza ebibuuzo n'ekaluba. So I would think Najima Poultry Feeds find 100,000 between now and 31st March, because if we go into April, the price will be 150. Get 100,000, pay for the master class. Bano bonna abasajja ba Dickson, kyemanyi Dickson bw'anaaba afunye obudde ajja baayo tujja tusobola omussa wali ku bapanelist addemu ebibuuzo ebyo kubanga experience ye nnene nnyo. Tuyina abantu abakoze business for all this time, they will actually help you. So Najima, nkulinze kukuwulira nti tusinkana April 11th. Weebale nnyo.
Najima njagala confirming mutendoke emitwalo 2. Ticket anonye 8.
Ndowooza okirabye. Olaba ofunidde awo omukisa. Noonya 8. Ebiri bagitaddeko awo we tuyise. Fist keeper, unmute and ask a question.
Yes, hello, good evening.
Yes, sir.
And praise the Lord.
Amen.
I'm glad for the opportunity that I've been given. Thank you for the wisdom that you're sharing. It's really indeed great. My question for tonight is, I have recently, I think I started earning salary last year, that is around June, yeah. So when I came out, I was reading some books. Then some books were saying, start saving. What is okay? Some financial knowledges were sharing that you need to start saving. So one of the things that okay, the companies that came to me, one of them is Jubilee. I don't know if it's okay to mention such names here. Is it okay, sir?
No, just mention a company or financial institution.
All right, I take it back. So there's a financial institution that came to me and said that they can save with, like, they can help me save. So I'm new. Remember, I'm new. So I've just started. I want to grow this wealth thing, financial what. So I said, okay, let me start saving with this company. But then recently, when I started doing an audit, yes, they are sending me messages. I'm seeing the saving, because every month I'm saving roughly like 150 per month. So when I checked on recently, I have I think 1.5. But this is where the catch is. So after 5 years, I'm supposed to save for 5 years. After 5 years, I'm supposed to get 11 million. But if you get to see, they are saying I'm not getting the 11 million. I'm supposed to get 8 million, because it's like an insurance company. So it has just come to my mind, like, wait, I'm actually not getting the 11 million, because when they were speaking to me, it was not like that straight away. They use a certain language. Anyways, so then luckily last month, that is when I saw you, sir, Newton, on TikTok. I saw NSSF saving, what. I'm like, wait, so yeah, I feel like I want to really save, really save for these 5 years. You asked me what's my aim of saving, to invest, to make an investment. Yeah, so I was thinking in my head, should I withdraw from saving the other side? I start NSSF or how best, since I'm very fresh in these things. I started looking, but so far the safest option that I saw you on was NSSF. That is point one, saving. Number two is, recently where I'm working up country. I wanted to do a business. The job I'm doing can offer me a loan, a salary loan, over, I think, the same money, I think 11M. So I wanted to do a business. As the other side, I'm saving, as I'm also paying it. The loan, I think you're getting, sir. I'm paying the loan.
Which business are you thinking of doing?
Oh, I want to do food. I want to deal in food, like a restaurant. I want to do a restaurant. And it's up country, but where I am, there's not many restaurants around. So one of the greatest problems we have is finding a place where to eat. So I was thinking if I can probably solve that thing. The ones there are not so up to that good standard. And yet us who were, okay, I don't know, there's a class that is there that was also looking for such food, you get. So I was thinking of starting a business in probably a cafe. So I wanted to get that loan as I'm paying the other side. I pay the loan as I'm saving, such that by the time I'm done with the loan, I've already accumulated the savings. Probably I could reinvest or make another program. That's my question, sir.
All right. Usually it wouldn't be a good idea to be on such a show and we are telling people, leave this, go this side, leave this, go. People will start thinking we are campaigning and decampaigning others. But the key issue is we want to tell people to do this. When you are faced with a roundabout and let's say you are at Busega roundabout, there is a road that goes to Mitiane, a road that goes to Masaka, a road that goes to Natete, a road that goes to Northern Bypass. Always, if you have a financial decision, look for a financial advisor, such that you start with the financial advice to go into something, not to go into something, then later look for a financial advisor and inquire, can I jump out? Because the moment you come later to a financial advisor and it shows you the numbers that this is the best way to jump out, you will be losing money immediately, because you go into these transactions and you commit yourselves. It's like when you say, it's like when you go to the bank and you borrow, then after borrowing, you look for Dixon or you look for me, then we do the math and we tell you, this is a very wrong loan you took. The moment you go to the bank and you say, I want to jump out of it, they will say, you will have to lose this amount of money before you jump out of it. So the very first best practice I want to give anyone who is listening to us, use a financial advisor to first ask that question before you go into any business. It's like, think about it as you find a beautiful girl and you like her so much, and you go into intercourse with her, and after intercourse you go and test your blood. It is very risky business. You must start by testing, then you go into the entanglements. If you do not do the testing first and you go into the entanglements, then it means once in a while, one day, you'll be regretting. Now, to go back to your question, never save. We want to tell people, and this has always been my teaching. Dixon will also give his view. I usually tell people that because saving is a habit, we need to go into the whole entire habit of saving. That's why when we tell people to save, we do not even emphasize the amount. We say, just go into a habit of saving. When you go into a habit of saving, money looks at you as a friend. Think about every time you find a person you want to deal with and you say, let me save your number. The people you do not love, you do not save their numbers. But the moment you see someone and you like them, you say, let me save your number. It's the same with money. Let me save this money. Let me save this money. Let me save this money. At the end of it all, go into a habit of saving. But also, when you're into a habit of saving, now you start saving better. How do we know that you're saving better? When you actually start with a goal. And you say, what do I want? I want to buy land. How much is land? 12 million. How much can I save per month? 500,000. Then it means if I save 500,000 per month, for 12 million, I will need 2 years. Because 500,000 a month, a year will be 6 million. Second year, 12 million. So because you saved with a goal, the idea is that that money, you do not have it. I do not want to hear you going to touch land money to help a friend who is asking you to lend them. When you start saving with a goal, you no longer count that money as yours, or you no longer count as the money you have. Now, on the question of where you say you want to get a salary loan and you start a business, usually when you are to start a business, we tell people, do you know how that business loses money? Because if you do not know how that business loses money, the employees you're going to put there will be the ones to teach you, and they will teach you at a fee. Let me give you an example. I know hardware in and out. By the way, there are businesses where when you wake me up at 3 a.m., I could speak like I have 4 PhDs. A hardware, money lending, land. Those businesses, hardware, money lending, land. When you call, even if you call me at 3 a.m. and you run a deal of money lending through my mind, I'll be able to tell you, that's a good deal. That even if you call me at 2 a.m. in the morning and the deal is to do with land, I'll be telling you there I can go, there I can't go. So I know how they can lose money, I know how they can make money. So even if I were to put anyone to run them while I'm employed, I can monitor them. So I told you that I have worked in a hotel before. I know the hotel business. By the way, I should also add it on. I know the hotel business, having worked in a 5-star hotel as a waiter and as a person in there. I want to tell you that a restaurant business is a lot of work. I doubt you can be employed somewhere and then you just hand over this restaurant to your friends you would have recruited. Remember, it's young. So it will start by paying rent, then you buy equipment, then you find people who are to prepare the food, and then you start running it. You need to make sure that before you go into any business, either you've met me or you've met Dixon or you've met anyone you know who has run this business before, to run you through the rigors such that you make fewer mistakes. The fewer the mistakes, the lesser the loss. Over to you, Dixon. What do you have to tell our brother?
Okay, thank you so much, Newton, and that's a feast. Yes, I hear you, and thank you for the question. Now, concerning your very first question of investing in treasure, investing in saving per month to an insurance company that you find at the end of the day you're not going to get back all the money. Of course, it takes us back to due diligence. It takes us back to due diligence and trying to get as much information as possible. I don't know why, for some reason, when we want to do something, we quickly run into it without getting many options. And maybe even here, for all of us who are here, I would like us to get into a habit of taking a step. Just take one step back before you sign. Take one step back. Take 2 steps back before you sign. Before you sign on any provider, before you sign on any client, before you sign on anything, just you lose nothing by taking a step back and saying, are there alternatives? Who are the best guys in this field? Even if it means paying someone 10K or 20K, I Dixon, Newton, I need you for 1 hour. Please, I'm going to pay you 10K or 20K. Or if you can give me a free hour, please give it to me and give me just 1 hour with someone. Or one phrase can save you a great deal of losses. It can save you from losses. So anyone who is here, learn to take a step back before you sign. Just say, can I have a second eye? Can I have a second ear? How did my friend do it? And so that's how we end up in the investments that are not helping us. Or we consult later after depositing the first installment. Then after depositing, you ask, by the way, can I buy this land? But you've already deposited the first installment. So what's the rush? No one is dying. You're not dying tomorrow. So just leave it overnight. Leave it overnight, and and think through it. Ask people. Okay, so to me, you would go to, you'd save somewhere where there's compounding effect. Someone say compounding. If you can get a compounding effect somewhere, just save there, because every money that comes to you, every profit will also be compounded, and you get more money as you go along. So that was in your first question. By the first question, I want Newton, remember this lady I gave 20K. Someone to have given her money. I think there's Salma Nasuna who gave her, is it Zion Soap? There's a lady called CEO Zion Soap. I think she has given also your colleague, your friend, Nasuna. No, Najuma. I think Najuma, the one I gave 20K. Someone has given her more money. So
Najuma Poultry Fees.
They've given. I think she has almost all the money for the mastermind, so she should come.
Absolutely.
So let me go to the question. Let me go to the question of, I'm going to get a loan to start a restaurant. Man.
First of all,
Man.
first of all, we've always told people never to borrow to start anything. But go ahead, Dixon.
Start, yes. Man, have you had Fiskip? Have you had my man? That's what it means.
Yes, sir.
That's how man it is. That's how bad it is. So please, you're going into a territory which you do not know, on borrowed money which you're paying interest on, or maybe you're paying interest on it. You're going into a territory, you're going to put like more than half in equipment and rent. So you might even find the day you start, you won't even have money to buy what? To buy your the things you're going to cook for day one.
Is it network?
On your friends who have also come to make money. So your friends have come to make money. So that means your business is now their source of income. So they are going to make sure they make money. And you're not there. Your WhatsApp manager, you're a phone manager, you're a phone hotel owner. They're going to tell you whatever they want to tell you. So to me, I think since you don't have control, since you do not have the expertise, and since you're saying that the people there they don't where you go to a restaurant, you don't see much food, is 11 million enough to create a restaurant which is going to feed you guys the kind of food you want to eat? Because I feel like if you're going to pay rent for maybe 2 months, then you buy equipment, saucepans, gas. When power goes, will you cook, or you're going to do charcoal? So man, all those things, by the time you're going to have gray hair. Very soon, I don't know how old you are. You're going to have gray hair, and most likely, you can bet on it. You're most likely going to lose that money. So take your time. I think don't borrow to start a business, because what if it doesn't work? Well, I can say what if it works, but what if it doesn't work? So don't risk that money, please.
Maybe
it's even a loan. If it was your savings, you would say yes.
Maybe to add on that, I see someone called Charles Favor saying, if you have done thorough research, it's okay to borrow. I'm going to tell you why it's still not okay, even if you've done thorough research, to borrow to start something. I want you to look at these two things. Borrowing works on certainty. What do I mean by certainty? As in, borrowing only works on things which are sure. When you enter a bank, you walk out with an amortization schedule. As in, the bank, you walk out when you have agreed that every 30th of the month, you must pay. So it is certain. It is not any doubt. You've signed that whether it rains, whether it's sunshine, whether there is what, you will pay. So it is certainty. Yet a young business you're starting, it is probability. You might do research, but we know that all research always misses out something. That's why you see, after doing research, people do research and refer to your research and find blank things in your research. What do I mean? That when you start a business, you might actually think that this is the best product and it is in the right location. But then you struggle with the employees, or you struggle with the suppliers. So suppliers, probability. Employees, probability. And they can kill the thing. So because a young business, we do not know, we are under probability. Yet alone, we are under certainty. So probability cannot be matched with certainty. That's why we only tell people to borrow when the business has reached a level of certainty. We know the right product, we know the right location, we know the right employees, we know the right operations. So when we borrow money, we know that when we borrow this money, we are buying this product because our customers want this product. We are certain. So we just borrow to buy a product which has given us the certainty to answer the certainty of the loan. I think Fist, we've tried to give you more than what you've requested, and I see that we've gone past 26 minutes of our time. I want to give Ro Rogers an opportunity, and then we shall finish with Perfume Lounge. Ro Roger, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Newton. It's a great pleasure being in front of the strong brains in the country.
Welcome, sir.
You know, Basaja Mwembego, I want to be like you one day.
And you will even beat us. You do not have to put a limit. Everyone who tells me I want to be like you, I'm like, you must aim to beat me. You have to. Mr. Pacman Kawesa, how are you, sir?
You know, being in front of Musomesa, it means I can be a principal, you know. Okay, I have two questions, but two issues where I need your advice. One is on borrowing to start a business. Now, my target is, I'm looking, I want a farmland. But today, to get a farmland, you have to be a higher level. It requires too much money. So there is a situation whereby I've been watching some people whereby you can, instead of buying a small land, you rent land. You do the farming I'm looking at on the rented land. However, here is if I rent the land now, I will be drained financially. Because I was looking, I'm looking like if I rent land, I can put some structures, then I borrow some money to buy the animals. So Dixon is saying it's not good at all to go for this, for the loan to start a business. That's where I'm getting confused, and I need your highlights.
No. We've already put our foot to the ground. We will never advise anyone to borrow to start a business. If anyone borrows to start a business, then it should be from a certain group of advisors. But as long as it's Newton and as long as it's Dixon, we've given you our take. I've labored to explain that, okay, let me give you a scenario why we think it's not good to borrow to start a business. When we start businesses are young. I want to ask you, Mr. Rogers, if you gave birth, do you have kids?
Yes, I do.
How old is your youngest kid?
He's 6 now.
Would you get money and pay Makerere University for your kid who is 6 to do law? And you tell Makerere University, when my kid, let's say you can afford. Would you get money and walk to Makerere University and you say, I'm paying this money for my kid. When he grows, he should do law here. I want to hear the reasons why you shouldn't. Or why you should.
Because I don't know his qualification by then. Maybe he will not be qualifying for law.
Now you have all the answers. The businesses we have to start are children. We do not know whether they would want law or medicine. So for us to get money and take this money to any university and ask the university, you register this child, he's 6 years. When he grows, he should do law. The kid will surprise you and grow and say, Dad, may I want fashion? And you already paid for law. The kid grows and says, Me, I want to deal in cattle, and you paid for low. So even businesses, when we start them and they are young, we just monitor them. We just monitor them. You can start a business in the city, and for it wants to be in the village. You can start a business by the roadside, yet that business. Didn't you hear what Dixon said? He got a business which was surviving very well in one day, opened up another branch in a garage section. Can you imagine? So when he goes to make that mistake to put a video library in a place where he's known for garages, the business tells him, I do not want to be here. So that's why we start businesses with the little we have. The moment the business starts telling us, this is what I want, this is how I want it, we can then risk on its behalf. I hope that answers your question. Dixon, you have something to answer him?
Let me just help Rogers start without even borrowing. Let me help you start without even looking for the money you want to look for and maybe rent land. You said you want to do ranch, you want to do production, you want to sell what? Cattle? What do you want to do?
Cattle farming.
You want to do
cattle farming.
Cattle farming. For what? For
Fish.
beef, for fattening, for selling, for what?
Fattening.
For fattening. Where is the market?
The market
Where do you want to
is
sell?
actually the market is everywhere. We have traders from Kampala. They come to Ivanda. They come to Kamwenge.
Now, why don't you be the link between the guys in Ivanda and Kampala, or Kamwenga and Kampala? Come to Kampala, tell guys, me, I can deliver you the fattened animals you want here in Kampala. Tell them, actually go to Kamwenga and take pictures of the cattle. Say, I have these fattened cows. They are 1 year old, 2 years old, and they weigh these kgs, and I can reach them Kampala at maybe 5 million. Then they're going to say, okay, so you're going to take care of the transport, you're going to take care of the risks of the journey and bring them to me in Kampala. So for me, I'll stay in Kampala and the cows are going to fight me here. So you could even ask them, can you deposit? Can you give me half? For those who can trust you, can you give me half? So you might find you don't even need all that money. The money you have can start your business now. So start as a middleman, so that you're known in Kampala as the guy who delivers the best fattened cattle from the village. So save us because we all buy convenience. Save us the what? Save us the trouble of going to Kamwenge, bringing the cattle here. You don't need to even do farming. You're going to make more money even in being a middleman here, as opposed to going to the pasture, basically all the ruckus that goes into farming. Thank you. What you Newton?
Thank you very much. For purpose of time, I'm going to ask Perfume Lounge.
I have a last one.
Rogers, the time.
Yeah, this one is quick.
Okay.
It's about saving. You talked of saving where there is compounding of interest. So I have seen this NSSF Smart Life. Is it a bond or is it I don't know how. I don't know that. Maybe if you can advise me on that. How does it run?
So when you save with NSSF Smart Life, they give you an interest to that to the money you've given them. But what you need to know is that the way NSSF Smart Life works is you save with your goal and you can only withdraw that money after a year. So you go on saving per month, or anytime you feel you can save, but the money will be withdrawn after a year with interest.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I appreciate.
Perfume Lounge, please ask the very last question and we close the day. Perfume Lounge, are you there?
Yeah, I'm on, sir. Good evening.
Good
My
evening,
network
Harry.
is a bit funny, but I hope I'm okay, sir.
Okay.
So you once shared some time back that you were working with one of the best American companies before, and they were giving you a very good salary. But you told us that even you didn't finish your contract and you quit the job and you started House of Wealth. So my question comes in this way. When do you know that this is the right time to quit and focus on my business? That's my question.
Perfume Lounge, what's your name again?
My name is Seguya Marvin, sir.
Hey.
From Entebbe.
Now, Ugandans want to learn how to quit their jobs. All right. First of all, there are a number of things you can use to know that this is the type. It depends on what you have planned. Remember, when I was working with this organization, I was, like I said, I was making a lot of money, but also I went and got a salary loan, and I think they had I had a lot. They had given me around 200 million. So my account had like 200 million. And when I looked at it, I was like, why would I wake up every day? Because I used to have, my office used to be in Masindi. So I asked myself, why would I wake up every Monday at 4 a.m. to start on a journey to go to Masindi? Yet I can start up because I always, before I went to this American company, I was with Enterprise Uganda. And while at Enterprise Uganda, people used to come and ask me questions like you see, business questions. They could not ask these questions to my boss because my boss was always busy or out of the country. So they ended up asking me and asking me and asking me. So I harbored that idea that if I am somewhere and these people are asking me questions, I could actually help them better. So while I was the other side, my contract was 5 years and I had done only 1 year. I felt like I could do something that could actually fall in the line which I really had. Because if you know that if you're working with these American companies, they are always about meetings, field report, meetings, field report, meetings, field report. And that kind of that kind of way of life, I think personally, I had reached an element, and I really didn't. The meetings and the reporting have a lot of pressure. The pressure is just too much. So I was like, but I've always wanted to be a person who is talking to individuals. I can start up House of Wealth. So to answer your question, always have a life plan. When you have a life plan, things will fall into place. It's like saying, let me give you an example of a life plan. Right now, I've finished LDC. So I finished LDC in December. But because I finished LDC in December, I was like, I have been studying for so long. I started the law course, I did the law course, I did LDC. Now I need to spend more time with my kids who are young. So I was like, I'm not going to study anything again until the 3 years lapse. So you won't find me studying anything in 2026. I won't study anything in 2027. You won't find me studying anything in 2028. I have made a plan to be with my children, teach them how to play cards. First give me these games and I show you. Let me show you what I'm doing with the kids. So I want to be with my children and teach them a game like Scrabble, such that they learn more words. I want to teach them the best ever game, cash flow quadrant.